Oh, yeah. Um, could you get me all the contractors for the Federal Bureau of Investigation? Yeah. Just looking at it, there's some obligation, yeah, of the FBI to disclose any knowledge of waste or fraud, mismanagement, abuse, or corruption. And just looking at these proto notaries, yes, I would think that the use of a forgery of an individual that does have the authority of law to administer an oath, yes, is a good example of fraud and abuse. Now, I emailed the FBI today and I didn't get a response. Is the FBI in the family that seems to think that this is just a big joke? We're removing the Constitution out of the laws. We're really making it seem like it's okay for you to get a seal when you get sworn into office. Yeah. And then we don't really want you to take seriously the whole idea of the government of the United States. Now, there have been a few different directors of the FBI, haven't there? Yes. But it seems to me take or fail to take personal action with respect to a contractor employee as a reprisal for disclosure of information. Yes. It looks like you can fail in the FBI, Coach. Could you get me the employees of the Federal Bureau of Investigation? Failure to take personal action. Now, it says with respect to a contractor. Maybe I need to know all the contractors that supply any and all goods or services to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Yes. And every contract that you have signed so as to be able to spend the United States Treasury. Yeah. Now, Mr. Mueller, as the individual that's been investigating Russia and the president and all these other concerns, I want to know how much money you've spent. I want to know every contractor, and I want to know, have any of them been sworn in as a witness? Yes. As a petitioner or a respondent? Yes. I want to know every attorney employed in the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Now, made to a supervisor in the direct chain of command of the contract employee. Now, I have emailed the Inspector General of the City of Seattle. Yes. I've emailed the Seattle uh, field office of the FBI approximately 1,000 times. Yeah. Did you get today's email? What? The Office of Professional Responsibility of the Department of Justice. The Office of Professional Responsibility for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Yeah. The Inspection Division of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Oh. The Office of Special Counsel, or to an employee designated by any officer, employee, office, or division described in clauses 7 for the purpose of receiving such disclosures. Oh. Now, by through 7 receive such and which the contractor employee reasonably believes evidences, yes, any violation of any law, rule, or regulation, including with respect to evidence of another employee or contractor employee accessing or sharing classified information, gross mismanagement, gross waste of funds, and abuse of authority, or a substantial and specific danger to public health or safety. Now, why is it, yes, that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, now for every individual that does have knowledge, yes, of waste, fraud, abuse, mismanagement, and corruption, of every contractor of the FBI for the last 50 years, yeah, I'm going to sue all of them for refusing to obligate you to have to enforce the laws. See, even though you would say I'm not a contractor of the FBI, any of them that was watching the videos, reading the emails, oh, they do know that you are not doing your job as a Bureau of Investigation. Now, I want to know all the employees of the FBI, And again, all the graduates of the FBI Academy, yes, that have any knowledge of the use of forgery, fraud, felony, treason, or any other war crime. Now, Attorney General prescribed regulations, contractor employee of the Federal Bureau of Regulations, yes. Enforcement, the President shall provide for the enforcement of this subsection, yes. Now, I'm just wanting to make sure that we understand each other, Mr. Mueller. Yes. You're going to prison. Now, I've emailed the Seattle Police Department hundreds of times, thousands of times. Yes. And they have no problem with the dishonest services of the police department. Yeah. That fabricates evidence against me when they do know I wasn't in Sequim, Washington. Yes. The depriving of myself of an actual effective, yes, counsel when they refused to admit the evidence that I was on the bus that morning. Yes. And then just give me every sheriff in every county of the state of Washington and that screwed up National Guard in the state of Washington. Yes. I'd like to know how it is that you think you're not going to jail. No, you're all dishonorably discharged. As much as you dislike the thought, you're all going to jail. Yes. Now, we have this problem that sheriffs have been in the family. Yeah. And all they do is screw each other. Their ideas, it's just kind of a joke. Yes. But this scheme or artifice to defraud is not capable of a precise definition, but generally is a plan or trick to deprive another, yes, of the intangible right of honest services. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, yes, is depriving me of the intangible right of the honest service. Robert, I emailed the FBI evidence, yes, of false arrest and false imprisonment, yeah, fraudulent mental health evaluations, right. I emailed the FBI forgery and fraud, violating civil rights, yes, hate crimes, yes, and you are using your scheme or artifice, yes, with the intention to defraud me. Now, why is the Federal Bureau of Investigation refusing to enforce the civil rights of American citizens? By false or fraudulent pretenses, representations, or promises, money or property from someone. Now, let's say I investigated you, Pooch, and I found out that Mike Van Proyen had the FBI on the payroll. Yes, yes, yes. I found out that the Sequim Police Department had the FBI on the payroll. Ooch, ooch, ooch. I found out that Clallam County had the FBI on the payroll. Poop. Now, I found out, yes, that the Federal Bureau of Investigation is dishonest. Now, I know that this can be used in the context of honest service, yes, as in a business, right, right. But the courts that issue protection orders without any civil rights being enforced, yes, that have me serve on Guam without the clerk of the Superior Court actually seeing it, yes, without a Superior Court judge looking at it saying, well, did Paul get notice of court hearings before you issued this? Mm-mm. Did Paul get arrested in the state of Washington? No. Was Paul given an order for expungement from the Superior Court of Guam? Yes. And then they, now, you're getting sued because you're dishonest, Robert Mueller. Now, you have fraudulent pretenses. You have not represented your promises of